What's up, gamers? Welcome to Gamer Rant. So in the last video I did today, we focused on Respawn CEO apology. I gave you my thoughts, opinions, and facts to counter his apology and the overall assumption between the players and the people that work at Respawn when it comes to random people, also known as trolls, sending them death threats, so on and such forth. But now we're going to focus on Drew McCoy, who is, I believe, a lead developer at Respawn.
Downloadable content.
Microtransactions.
DRM.
Pre-order DLC.
Dislike content. Blind. Stupid fucking fanboyism.
So let's just go over some of the things that he said during the controversy. The individual, it certainly feels like you're trying to squeeze every last dime out of us. Drew, well, leave that to other games that do things like provide methods to pay for power. We are not a hugely monetizing game. We just need to make enough money to keep the game going and make more stuff for everyone. When we decide to make Apex Legends a free-to-play game, it was imperative that free-only players still can get access to all gameplay while also having the chance to earn the coolest-looking cosmetics. Unfortunately for Drew, there's a lot of lies in this entire paragraph. Number one, Drew is, number one, trying to play by stating that somehow they are the equivalent to a small indie company. I got a newsflash for you, Drew. You are backed by a billion-dollar corporation known as Electronic Arts. Apex Legends makes EA a fortune. So don't sit here and try and tell me that you're trying to make enough money to keep the lights on. Because the proof is out there of your contradiction and your hypocrisy and your bold-faced lie. You are literally making excuses for price gouging the very people that made Apex Legend what it is today. And that certainly isn't the developers, that is the players. It would not be popular. EA would not be making money. Respawn would not be making money if it was not for your dedicated fan base that you continue to piss on. And that's what's really shameful. But we're not done yet. He then also goes on to talk about how everything is accessible to all players, whether they decide to spend money or not. Guess what's not accessible to players that choose not to purchase any microtransactions whatsoever? The Iron Crown itself. None of the items or the main item can actually be earned in-game. Once again, bold-faced lie. A weak attempt to play the sympathy card because somehow we're supposed to believe that they are an indie developer and yet they're backed by a billion-dollar corporation known as Electronic Arts. Do you think $18 is a fair price for a legendary skin? Being that we are, IMO, incredibly generous with the amount of free stuff we give out, including legendary skins, yes, there is a price point for any product that the market will bear, and we're definitely in the neighborhood with other games. There's a bit of a problem with this. This is another bold-faced lie. There is no such thing as a market for microtransactions or what we would refer to as cosmetics or microtransactions in general. There is no actual place that you can go to compare skins or microtransactions from the various developers to see if they're all the same or if they're about the same. That is a bold-faced lie. No such things exists. All microtransactions, along with DLC pricing, expansion pack pricing, is done via in-house from the developer and or the publisher, in this case, Electronic Arts. Gamer Rant just laying down the facts. So this is the individual that I was talking about in the previous video where I said there was like one person who got a little hostile. Ironically, he doesn't really even do anything within the realm of a death threat. He basically uses profanity a couple of times, and then he also basically, where is it? No surprise, really, as your EA's bitch. All right. I mean, that's a relatively weak, what we could call insult within of itself. And given the fact of reading this and what the CEO claims, not okay, excuse me, let me correct my wording there. What the CEO states that they get death threats from trolls. Not that he actually used the word troll, but hey, people need to learn one way or the other that they are trolls, not actual players. That this at best is just criticism that is given in not a very professional way. And you, as someone who works for a company, be you the CEO or somebody on the team, what you do is you take what they're saying with a grain of salt. You ignore what we would refer to as the insults or the foul language, because you can still learn something from those kinds of people. Obviously, not people that are literally giving you death threats. That's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about people that, well, maybe a little more blunt in their criticism. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. To me, it only becomes negative in the sense that, their point is mute when they start insulting people. And let's be fair, fair. They insulted Electronic Arts, but just about every gamer insults Electronic Arts. That's because Electronic Arts knows nothing better to do than to insult their fan base. You can even see that he edited it the first time. People think this is a troll post. It's not. I admit I worded it wrong, and I don't condone being disrespectful as I was, but I'm fed up with companies pulling shit like this. He also, apparently, I guess people pointed out grammar Nazis. Two types of trolls out there, ladies and gentlemen. You always got to love the grammar trolls. Fixed grammar and thanks for the silver. Surprised at how much shit my comment has caused, but I'd type it all over again if it got the project lead to show his true colors. And the irony from this is Drew then decided to actually reply to that same one. Hey everyone, found the dick I was talking about. Actually, no, I believe you're wanting to refer to actual trolls. I mean, yeah, he was a little vulgar and blunt in a couple of areas, but overall, there was criticism there that if you were adult and professional enough, you would have taken it and then taken everything else that offended you with a grain of salt, like a mature adult. I could do this all day, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's jump to his Twitter. So he basically shared this update. And if you actually read this, a lot of people are being actually respectful. Just in the first, half, I haven't found anyone that's calling him a dick or an asshole or anything of that nature. EA sucks, which technically that really wouldn't be an insult and doesn't mean that your point would be mute. That's just your opinion of Electronic Arts. People can ultimately disagree with it if they solely desire. But to sit here to say that those kinds of people are crying, whining, and bitching doesn't help the situation within of itself. So then we're going to jump down to, let's see, where did that reply go, ladies and gentlemen? There you are. We're openly admitting we screwed up. We could make more if we say charge for higher power weapons or upgrades, but we stay far away from that. Our goal is for free players to be able to compete just as well as paying players and have the chance at earning baller skins too, which, as I've already stated, is a bold-faced lie, because it's been pointed out from other actual players, you cannot earn any of this stuff by simply playing the game. So that is literally Respawn going against their own words within of itself. And no, you guys did not openly admit that you screwed up. You basically went from gouging the player to basically giving the players the middle finger. Oh, you don't like what we did? Well, fuck you. Here you go. Try this one on for size. I mean, it's really, really disheartening to see that we have developers doing this. Drew wanted to say that, there was once a time that gamers didn't act like asshats, which obviously they're just trolls. He needs to learn to separate the two. But there was also a time that gamers actually respected electronic arts. They enjoyed and loved their games, world round. There was a moment in time that people enjoyed playing FIFA and even Madden. But look at the history of what electronic arts does. And whether you agree with it or not, you as the developers, a company, a part of electronic arts, need to be a little bit more sympathetic to what electronic arts does and how they treat their own fan base, and you should strive to be better than the corporate business that owns you. All the way down to the developers and the writers and the programmers. I've often tell people that the biggest problem with games today is developers, and when I say developers, I'm talking about the programmers, graphic writers, artists. They've all lost their heart and their soul in developing video games because it's more about creating a product rather than actually creating art that is entertaining, that has some kind of value. I hope you enjoyed this video in some fashion or form. And remember, gamers, if you're not voicing your thoughts and concerns about the blatant lies that developers are saying in response to negative criticism, you just might be a part of the motherfucking problem.